Let's get right to it, starting with boys basketball. In Section 1A, the first game of the day was a battle between the 1-seeded Goodhue Wildcats and the 4-seed, the Lyle Pacelli Athletics. This one came down to the wire with less than 5 minutes to go. It's a 1-point game. Let's start right here. Boy Kowak gets the block right there, and then Wildcats, Adam Poncelet drives, gets past defenders for the two. Goodhue leads by 4 points. The Athletics find Kowak on the perimeter. Nothing but net, but it would not be enough. The Wildcats advance, getting the 54-51 victory over Lyle Pacelli. And on the other side of Section 1A, the 2-seeded Spring Grove Lions tipped off against the 3-seed, the Hayfield Vikings. The Vikings move the ball around the perimeter. Ethan Pack finds Trent Jellum on his way to the hoop, gets the 2 for the first points of the game with a hand in his face. Tyson Grindy behind the arc, nothing but net. Spring Grove leads by 1 early, and the Lions were hot behind the perimeter. Add 3 more for Caleb Griffin right there. Spring Grove advances, beating Hayfield 57-46. In Section 1-2A, the 1-seeded Lake City Tigers took on the 4-seed, the Cannon Falls Bombers, right before the half. Bryce Peer from behind the arc, that one finally falls through. The Tigers lead by 7 and 5 seconds left in the first. The Bombers find Tyler Johnston on his way to the hoop. Lake City is up 6 at halftime. In the second, for the Tigers, dish to Riley Fick. He makes a move under the hoop and gets that 2. Lake City advances, beating the Bombers 69-54. And the 2-seeded PEM Bulldogs tipped off against the 3-seed, the Caledonia Warriors. Caledonia started out hot. Mason King nails the triple. The Warriors lead 5-0 early, and the Bulldogs find Aaron Stevens. The fadeaway jumper is good. Caledonia leads by 3, and PEM's Chase Fulgeson from behind the arc adds 3 more right there. The Bulldogs knock off the Warriors in a close one, 58-50. In Section 1-3A, the 1-seeded Stewartville Tigers hosted the 4-seed, the Byron Bears. Tigers' Caleb Bancroft gets a steal. Brady Pickett with the 2 and a trip to the line. Stewartville leads by 5 in the first half. As time expires, Max Dearborn fakes, drives, gets that bucket to fall. In the second half, Tegan Malone on the perimeter. Nothing but net. The Tigers beat the Bears in a close one, 42-37. The other Section 1-3A semifinal game was between the 2-seeded Austin Packers and the 3-seeded Winona Windhawks. The Windhawks got the victory in overtime, beating the Packers 61-58. Well, it's playoff time for NA3HL teams. The Rochester Grizzlies hit the road to take on the Peoria Mustangs in the second game of this series. The Grizzlies got the 2-0 victory last night, and the Mustangs had an answer tonight. Peoria shut out the Grizzlies 3-0 to tie up the series. Rochester hosts tomorrow night for Game 3. That puck drops at 5:05. And the Mason City Toros hit the ice for their second playoff game against the Alexandria Blizzard. The Blizzard got the 3-2 win last night, and Mason City tied up the series today, getting a 3-1 victory. The two teams hit the ice again tomorrow night for Game 3. That puck drops at 6:10. Well, it's tournament time for college hockey teams too. Let's start on the women's side. The number 2 University of Minnesota Golden Gophers faced off against number 7, the University of Minnesota Duluth, for the second year in a row in the regional finals. The Gophers got on the board first in the second period. Madeline Wethington finds the back of the net right there. The Gophers lead 1-0, and then Abby Murphy takes it all the way, gets that one past the goalie. The Gophers are up 2-0, and then a pass to Katie Skaya. Take a look at this one. She shoots and she scores. The Golden Gophers got the shutout win, beating UMD 3-0. Minnesota advances to the NCAA Frozen Four in Duluth for the first time since 2019. The Frozen Four kicks off next Friday. On the men's side, the Golden Gophers had a bye last weekend in the Big Ten tournament. They took on the Michigan State Spartans in a semifinal matchup tonight, and the Gophers got the win. Beating the Spartans 5-1, the 1-seeded Golden Gophers will face off against the 2-seeded Michigan Wolverines in the finals a week from tonight. In college women's hoops, the 3-seeded Iowa State Cyclones tipped off against the 2-seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, in a Big 12 semifinal game today. Let's start with none other than Ashley Jones behind the arc. Drills the 3 for the Cyclones' first points of the game. At the top of the key, Danae Fritz dribbles, sidesteps, and nails the triple. The Sooners lead by 4, and the screen is set right there. Nightmare Dew is open on the perimeter, adds 3 more. The Cyclones knocked off the Sooners 82-72. Iowa State will tip off in the Big 12 championship game against the 1-seeded Texas Longhorns tomorrow afternoon at 1. In the Missouri Valley Tournament, the 3-seeded University of Northern Iowa women's basketball team tipped off against the 2-seed the Belmont Bruins today, and the Bruins are advancing to the championship game. They beat the Panthers in a close one, 69-62. And in the NFL, former Minnesota Vikings head coach Bud Grant has died at the age of 95. Grant led the team to 4 Super Bowls. He was the head coach from 1967 to 1983, and then again in 1985. He led Minnesota to 11 NFC NFL divisional championships during his time as head coach. Grant is the first person to be elected to both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame.